My next example is a science fiction horror novel set in space with aliens and lots of dying. So, my audience would be dark science fiction and fantasy readers, probably 50-50% men and women. My unique value proposition is that the fictional author of this series has a degree in biology and put a lot of effort into making the aliens super, realistic, and that there's no faster than light travel, because there's a lot of faster than light travel in most outer space sci-fi. The comfort value proposition is that it is in outer space and it has spaceships. So if you enjoy that type of fiction, you get that. It explores the frailty of human existence, which is another common theme in sci-fi. And there's some existential philosophy woven throughout. So if you find existential philosophy comforting, this is the book series for you. The emotion that I want my reader and or my social media follower to feel would be thoughtful, curious, maybe fearful, or, horror, shock and horror. So some ideas for social media content. Images of space from NASA. Maybe some discussions of zoology or biology. Since this fictional author, has a degree in biology, I would be able to talk about it intelligently. Some images of the real life biological creatures or the concepts that I used to create the aliens in the series. Maybe any sketches or images that I might have used as part of my world building. Maybe maps. People who read sci-fi and fantasy tend to love maps. I personally enjoy them myself. So even if you just sketched a map and it doesn't appear in the book, you could always share that. You can always share books by other authors who have written about similar themes or written about, outer space adventures. You could post some discussions about sci-fi in general. So maybe ask your fans what their favorite TV shows are related to space or space travel. Maybe you can discuss different alien depictions, like, oh, what aliens do you love? What was your first alien? What aliens do you hate? What's the worst alien depiction that you've ever seen? What do you like in your aliens? If that makes sense. You could discuss faster than light, space flight, time dilation, maybe why you chose not to include it in your series. And you can ask your fans whether they like it or whether they don't like it. You can ask your audience if they think aliens are real. If they think aliens have visited Earth, maybe you could talk about UFO sightings and or abductions. Since there's some philosophy woven throughout the book, that leaves a pretty wide open door for different types of discussions that you could post, or blog posts that you could write about, some of the questions that maybe you addressed, or you, the fictional author, addressed in the book. For example, is everything just a giant simulation? Or why are we so tiny compared to everything else? Or the human ego in relation to the natural world. Maybe you could share some links to some music, maybe to Spotify or YouTube, that you think reflects the overall feeling of the world you've tried to create. Or maybe while you were writing, you made a playlist, or after you were writing, you made a playlist that you think goes along with the book, and you can share that. You could also share some quotes from other authors who explore some of the same philosophical concepts, or maybe quotes from the book, your book, your fictional book, that demonstrates the descriptions of the aliens, the descriptions of the world, or maybe some, quotes that reference some of the philosophical discussions. And then, of course, you can always post your book cover, reviews, etc.